filming Marina in the water.
Snapshots on the beach with the locals.
My wife was from this village.
Oops, the king and queen of Spa. Enjoying a local snack. Yeah, but this is... Good morning, everybody. Zanzibar. We went there in December, and today I'm going to give you an honest review of what we thought of Zanzibar. Now, I'm going to break this review into 3 separate parts, and that is because we visited 3 separate areas on Zanzibar, and they're all very different. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to give you the top 5 things that we liked about each area, and if there were any things we didn't like, we'll let you know about those as well, and that way you can be better informed and decide whether it's somewhere you would like to go for a holiday. Okay, now the first place we stopped on our visit to Zanzibar was right up the very north, in the very top of the island. See the map next to me? This place is called Laneways. The best highlight of Laneways, without a doubt, is the beaches. They're exactly what you want them to be. Golden sand, warm water, little bit of wave, not busy, clean, pollution free, and very, very beautiful. Not only was the water beautiful, but the sand was clean and very nice as well, and had a really great golden colour. We really enjoyed that, and it was a great start to our holiday. The second highlight of Laneways, which you will have seen in one of the previous videos, was the turtle sanctuary. A great cause, lots of turtles, and you get to feed them, and there's lots of useful information there as well, and entry is cheap. It was only $10 US. I mean, that's very reasonable, especially when it's a sanctuary and they're helping to preserve, rescue, and save turtles. Number 3 was the restaurants on the beach. There's something magical about sitting down for a meal on the actual beach itself. At night time, there's a couple of locations where they bring out the tables and chairs, set them up nicely, and you can order a fresh cooked meal of seafood or chicken or whatever you want. Nice warm ocean breezes in a tropical environment. Fantastic, loved it. Number 4 was the actual location of the resorts. They are absolute beachfront, and as we mentioned earlier, the beach is fantastic. So I really enjoyed that aspect. Where we stayed had a breakfast balcony overlooking the ocean, and that was a magical way to start the day. I really enjoyed that. Number 5 was access to the local village. The beach resorts along the main section there of Laneways, back onto the local little village. There's a couple of shops, small restaurants, houses, lots of little fruit markets, real boutique shops, and there's lots and lots of shops that sell paintings and handicrafts. And being simply able to walk out of your resort and walk through these markets was fantastic, especially things how they were so traditional and underdeveloped. I really enjoyed that aspect of this location. Now, for the stuff that we did not like. There was one really big problem, and that was the amount of time and the amount of people who hassle you to buy things from them. Now, I understand we've just gone through a pandemic and these people have done it really hard, but you can't walk out of your resort without being hassled. You would be hassled every 15 to 20 meters. So simply walking down the beach is it's a significant ordeal. It got to the point that we didn't want to leave the resort, or you have to mentally prepare yourself to leave the resort because you know as soon as you step out of that door, you're going to be hassled non-stop.
Filmed you doing it. Go ahead, you're right.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Moses.
Moses?
Yes, Moses.
The Coconut Man.
I come from Bagamoyo. I come here for.
Where's that?
Bagamoyo.
Where's Patamoya?
Bagamoyo in mainland, near with Dar es Salaam.
Oh.
There some places it's called the Bagamoyo. Yeah, small city with ocean, a lot of history, but beautiful place. Near with the Sadani National Park.
Right.
It's not so far from Dar es Salaam to Bagamoyo. It's like 64 kilometers.
Understand?
Yes.
You came here just for better business, did you?
Yes.
Hopefully.
I come here just for business because you can make a life everywhere. Yeah. Other people here from Kenya, from
For the same reason.
Kilimanjaro, from
Yeah, okay.
Arusha, from Tanga. It's different people here.
And now it's tough, of course, because no tourists. Or very few tourists.
No tourists, no lot of tourists because
Virus, yeah.
COVID, Corona,
Crap.
virus,
Yeah.
making now the world big. Before was the world just like smaller,
Yeah.
but now the world is bigger because of Corona,
Yeah.
COVID test. Ah,
Oh, now you want my coconut, do you? You say no, no, no. Now you want my coconut. You help me.
You. Thank you.
Moses, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
asante sana.
All the best to you and your family.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting.
You're most welcome. She didn't want any coconut. Now she's straight into my coconut. Yes, coconut. What do you think?
This is water.
This is water. Coconut water.
Coconut water.
Mm-hmm. We need water. This is good. All right, my friend. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Second stop for us was Parjay, which is a town on the bottom east coast of Zanzibar. We were expecting to find really exceptional beaches here, as that's what we had read on the internet. However, that was not the case. There were some very good points about the area, but it was not what we were expecting. The number one thing we liked about Parjay was the local forest. It's the only significant forest area on the island, and if you do a tour of this forest, you can see some wild monkeys. You can get up very, very close to them, and we really enjoyed that. There's also a fair amount of other wildlife to be seen in the forest. Definitely worth a day trip. The second thing we liked about Parjay was the resort. It was a small boutique resort. I think it only had 12 operating rooms at the time we were there. It's a very secluded spot. It feels like it's the middle of nowhere. And if you're looking for some privacy, some seclusion, and just to laze around and recover in a nice, warm, tropical environment, then this might be for you. Number 3, we really liked the long walks on the beach here. Not because the beach was visually spectacular, but because of the remoteness of it. There was very few people on the beach trying to sell you things or hassle you. So you could pretty much walk up and down the beach in seclusion, or you would only be hassled once or so every kilometre. So it was a very, very different environment to what we'd experienced up north. The number 4 thing we liked about Parjay was the rustic feel. The local village, which was a lot smaller than what we'd seen up north, felt more authentic. It didn't feel like it was really set up for tourists. There were much fewer souvenir shops. It had more of a traditional, I guess, natural environment feel, and that's always good to have a look at to see. Number 5. Number 5 was all the fresh fruit we could get in this location. I think the pineapple was probably the best pineapple we've ever had. We just journeyed into one of the little local shop type market stalls. There was significant amounts of other fruits as well, and that was a really, really nice thing. We really enjoyed all the fresh fruits we could get here. Now, the disappointments about Page. Well, we were expecting really good beaches in the area where we were, and we walked for several kilometers up and down the beach. The beach was not that great. When the tide went out, you were left with almost what was a boggy mud flat. You couldn't walk out there. Even when the tide was in, the water was not that deep, so you were ankle deep in mud every time you wanted to go into the ocean. So I would have to say here that what we saw of the ocean beaches, they were a disappointment. The third and final stop on our Zanzibar tour was the historic town of Stone Town, which you can see here on the map. The first thing that we really loved about Stone Town were the historic coral stone buildings. They are really beautiful and impressive to see. The second thing that we really liked about Stone Town was seeing the slave market. You got to tour the facility, learn about who was actually involved in the trade, and get a tiny bit of perspective on the horrors that were the slave trade. Number 3 will come as no surprise. If you watched our other video, we really like the spice market. It is huge, and the variety, the choices, interacting with the local people, it's fantastic. And number 4 was our hotel, the Dhow Hotel. Once again, a very historic building, fantastic, with lots of antiques to look at, and just a very interesting architectural structure. Very glad that we stayed there. And number 5, last but not least, was the actual laneways of Stone Town. The tiny little coral stone building laneways that wind their way through the city. Fascinating to explore, with the little hotels and boutique shops and all sorts of interesting people. A really, really great experience just wandering around the laneways of Stone Town. So, would I recommend people visit Zanzibar? Yes, I would. We had a fantastic time, but by the end of 2 weeks, we were certainly ready to leave. Probably the one thing that really works against Zanzibar, which I didn't really touch on too much in this video, is the cost. The cost of visiting Zanzibar is probably more than Thailand, and at least double what it cost to go to Vietnam. And I think in both of those places, you can actually have more experiences than what you can have in Zanzibar. So, at the end of the day, I would say yes, go and visit Zanzibar, but you'll probably only go there once and then go somewhere else. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of it. See you next time.